U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says Gulf countries must ease the blockade on Qatar, which is accused by Arab neighbors of funding terrorism. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, Egypt, and Bahrain cut travel and diplomatic ties with Qatar on Monday. Mr. Tillerson said the blockade was having humanitarian consequences. But while praising Qatar and APO's emir for working to limit the funding of terror groups, Mr. Tillerson said more needed to be done. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has accused Qatar of funding terrorism and urged it to stop. "I decided with Rex Tillerson that the time had come to call on Qatar to end funding an extremist ideology in terms of funding," he said. "Stop teaching people to kill other people. We want you back among the unity of nations." The Qataris deny accusations that they support Islamist extremists. President Trump had previously tweeted support for the move to isolate Qatar over its alleged financing of extremist groups. He repeated that message forcefully from the podium, despite U.S. efforts to defuse the crisis. He even claimed to have been part of the decision made by Saudi Arabia and others. Indeed, his tone and approach undercut that of Secretary Tillerson, who barely an hour earlier had delivered a more nuanced appeal for de-escalation, making clear he expected all parties to end the crisis. While Tillerson said Qatar must respond to its NIGHBOURS and APO's concerns, he also urged the others to take action against extremists within their borders. U.S. officials insisted the two men were sending the same message with different emphasis, aimed at encouraging their Arab allies to put aside grievances and focus on fighting terrorism. But it was the differences that resonated. Another example, it seemed, of Trump forging a path at variance with that of his top officials. Notably, while he criticized Qatar, he thanked Saudi Arabia. His embrace of Riyadh on a recent trip there seems to have influenced his thinking and raised questions about the direction of any U.S. mediation. On Monday, the tiny, oil and gas-rich state was cut off and isolated by some of the Arab world and APO's most powerful countries. Qatari planes were banned from using some of their NIGHBOURS and APO's